Hey everyone. In this video, I want to talk to you about how not getting what we want can often be a huge blessing in disguise. A great example, one that I'm sure we've all experienced, is in the case where you're trying to go after a romantic partner and things end up not working out, and originally you feel incredibly heartbroken because all you wanted was that person and you created this ideal mental image of them in your mind, and you probably thought that they were way better than they actually are. So you feel heartbroken when you lose the ability to attract them. But then maybe a few months down the road, maybe a year, however long it takes, you reflect back and you realize that, hey, maybe not getting that person was a huge blessing in disguise because they're not actually as good as you thought they were. And that's a great example of this in practice, because quite often there will be times where things not working out is good, but we won't realize it in the moment. It may take time, but eventually we'll look back and we'll say that, hey, I'm glad things actually worked out the way they did. I'm glad I didn't get that thing that I desired, because not getting it actually led to something better, or maybe it led to growth for you that allowed you or will allow you to acquire better things in the future. And that is really huge. So, to go over a great example of this in my own life, when I was in high school, I joined my high school football team. And I remember the first thing the coach asked me was how tall was my dad, because I was really short back then. So he was basically trying to figure out whether or not I would actually grow and become a good football player. And at the time, I had a dream of becoming like the next Tom Brady. I wanted to play QB. I already knew that I had a good arm, I had good accuracy, but I lacked height. And that turns out pretty much was a dream ender, because you can't really be a great QB if you're too short to see above the lineman. And at the time, I was really short. And with that, I was also one of the weakest people on the team, which makes sense. The smaller you are, if you're not already super muscular, you're probably going to be a lot weaker than people who are taller than you, even if they don't work out. That's just how that works. So there I was, being maybe either the second or third weakest and shortest person on the entire football team, and I hated it so much because I had dreams of becoming that star player, but I just realized it wasn't going to happen. So I was probably almost a bit depressed back then, because nobody wants to be one of the shortest and weakest people on a team. It just doesn't feel good. But when I look back now, I realize that those times, that period of my life, was probably one of the most impactful ones that ended up shaping me into who I am today. Because during that time, I basically acquired two things. And these things are, one, the mindset of not comparing myself to other people, because there was really no point in me doing that. Everyone I compared myself to was bigger, faster, and stronger than me. So comparing myself to them was utterly pointless. I wasn't going to be better than anyone except for maybe those one or two guys who were slightly below me. But even then, I wasn't really stronger than them by much at all. So again, no point in comparing myself to other people. But another thing, number two, that it taught me was basically not caring what people thought of me, because everyone was making fun of me. I mean, that's just a part of being on a football team. Guys will give each other shit, and it's just kind of a bonding experience for everyone. It's a way men kind of get along and test each other. So I got made fun of a lot because I was so tiny and so weak. So nobody was really going to be praising me or giving me compliments or anything like that, and I accepted that. And with that, I just stopped caring what people thought of me, because there was no point in it. Again, they all pretty much thought kind of low of me, and that's okay. It was what it was. But fast forward to today, and I'm so grateful that that football experience didn't work out for me the way that I wanted it to. I'm really glad that it didn't work out. It was a blessing in disguise, because those two mindset things that I picked up far outweigh the benefit of if I had actually been a decent football player and if I did have height and strength to my name. And nowadays, I mean, the height and weight thing has changed so much that I don't even care anymore. But those two things of not comparing myself to other people and not caring what other people think of me have helped me out immensely. I can't tell you how many times I've gone to the gym and I may look around, but I don't compare myself to anyone there because I don't see a point in it. It goes back to those football days. Just there are always going to be people stronger than me and always going to be people weaker than me. So comparing myself to them is stupid. Instead, I compare myself to who I was yesterday. Could the man I was yesterday bench as much as I can bench today? Could he do as many reps with dumbbells or squats or deadlifts? If not, then I've become better, and that's all that matters. And then not caring what people think of me is another huge thing, because it's just allowed me to do so many things in my life where I've been able to grow and become a better person. And yet again, another huge example here is in the gym, because I just don't care what people think of me. There were literally times where I was so weak that I would be warming up with just the bar itself and bench press. And I remember thinking at the time that if somebody saw me, they may think that that was actually the weight I was repping, and they might think I was really weak and pathetic. But then I thought, who cares? Doing this is going to allow me to become stronger and better than who I was yesterday, and with time, that'll lead to me becoming who I want to be. And that's all that matters. So, I know that was a huge tangent off of my personal life, but I hope that shows you how quite often things not working out can be a big blessing in disguise. So when you find yourself in those positions where you didn't get something that you really wanted, take a few deep breaths and just pause for a moment and realize that A, maybe that thing that you wanted wasn't actually as great as you thought it was, which is often the case for romantic partners we're aspiring after, or B, maybe something better will come into you in the future. Maybe you'll gain a lot of growth or knowledge or some mindset tricks that will make it all worth it. You never truly know. So don't feel too down and out when things don't go the way you wanted. Just stay patient and realize that things will likely work out in a good way, a better way than what you originally planned for yourself. And that is an awesome thing. Anyway, I hope this video helped you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Arrivederci!